Rhea, I noticed you came in barefooted. Are you getting ready for the game down in Miami Beach, or?
Yeah, that's exactly what. No, I was actually just getting some treatment. I didn't have the time to put on some shoes. Yeah.
What do you know of the rivalry and some of the history of the game, and how do you feel like both sides are approaching this game, knowing some of that history?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of history between the two teams. I saw the 30 for 30. And before that, I really didn't have a great knowledge of what the rivalry was. That was kind of like my only experience with it. Obviously, there's a lot of history between the two teams, but it's just, for us, it's another game, another team that we got to compete against.
Were you surprised at how way out it got, the rivalry in that game and stuff, and after seeing the 30 for 30?
Yeah, for me it was just like I didn't know that that's kind of like where the, where it started and how it started, and the T-shirts and various things like that. I thought it was really interesting, but yeah, it got out of hand. But now it's just more about two really good teams playing against each other.
Off of last week's game, and the performance of the defense and stuff like that, as you look back on it, how did you, what did you take from that game? What do you think you need to do to get back on track? Maybe a little bit different.
Yeah, I think that as a defense, it was humbling in a good way to show that we have been playing such really good football for the majority of the season, and to have a game like that kind of get away from us just humbles us and makes us like reapproach it and know that we have to execute at a very high level. It's tough to win football games at this level. We got to do everything we can to execute at a very high level.
After you have a performance like that, how anxious are you to get back on the field and say, let's show that we're better than what we were against Wake?
Yeah, I think for sure, as a defense at least, we were ready to get out yesterday in practice, and kind of the tempo was really high and the energy was there. I think that was due to also not performing as well as we could have, and the guys just want to get back out there and compete.
And as a senior, as a captain, what's your role as far as making sure that the defensive guys are on a better page this week than what they were last?
Yeah, I think we got to realize that, it's coming to the end of the season. Guys get tired, kind of get banged up, and we got to make sure that everyone's coming to the same attitude that we did with the rest of the games, and that wasn't an issue. Yesterday, all the young guys brought it, and so, like, as a leader on the defense, I don't really have to do much of that, because as a defensive unit, for the majority of the part, all the guys do that themselves.
Coach Kelly said yesterday, he said if you had seen our practice on Wednesday defensively, you might have been able to kind of tell that there would have been some slippage on Saturday. What did you see from last week that said, as good as we've been throughout the year, there just seems to be something off about this week heading into the Wake game? Yeah,
so I think that, like, as a competitor, you can see, like, oh, the guys didn't bring it today as much as we usually do, and something's a little bit off. But I didn't really have that initial reaction from just practicing last Wednesday. I think a lot of it just is me focusing on doing my job, and I can kind of see from the outside, but I didn't have that feel as much as maybe Coach Kelly said, and that's just more of a feel thing.
Thanks, Greer.
Yeah.
Hi, Greer.
Hi.
So you guys have played these, top 15, spotlight matchups, but it's been here at home. What's the mentality of going into a matchup like this when you're on the road in a hostile environment?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement for us to go down there and prove ourselves. We've proved ourselves up to this point throughout the season, and now it's the next challenge, and that's going down to Miami and beating them.
And what can they do offensively to make that trouble for you guys?
Yeah, I think they got a lot of playmakers, and they're sound. And I think just for us, it's more about just executing our stuff at a very high level. I think we kind of got away from that last week, and it's just about really understanding what we got to do as a defense unit, not really focusing on so many external factors.
I was curious about this too when I was watching the game last week, and then you saw the Dolphins playing on Sunday night, but they've had a lot of sort of some field issues down there where they change out the turf a lot. How do you guys as players just sort of get ready for something like that where you're not sure where exactly some rough spots are going to be?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't even know that fact or whatever. And for us, it's just wherever we're going to play, we're going to come out and compete. It doesn't matter what the surface is for us. At least for me, I'm not going to think about that at all. It's just about going out there and executing at a high level.
I think obviously over the last few weeks, getting more national attention for the teams that you've beaten. But how does this maybe raise the bar a little bit in terms of playing a 7th-ranked team plus being all the way down in Florida?
Yeah, I think it raises the bar just because it's the next game. It's a big game for us. Obviously, both seasons are on the line here, and both are going to come out and compete. But for us, it's just the next game, and it's a really good team. So that's our next challenge.
Thanks, sure.
Yeah.
How similar or different is Miami to the team you guys faced last year?
I think they're very similar. Obviously, they're having more production on the offensive side of the ball this year. Like I said before, they got a lot of good playmakers. But I think they're a similar offense, similar scheme. But ultimately, they've just been better at getting the ball to the guys that they may play for them. Excuse me.
I'm curious, maybe just answer is like how they're better, maybe just a little bit this year, because I think they were in some close games and finished strong after losing to you guys. But is the difference just efficiency, or what's the maybe the slight uptick in their performance?
Yeah, I think that just at the time that they need to make plays, they do. And I think that ultimately as an offense, they just get the ball to the guys that they need to get it to, it seems like. And I think that's the most basic answer to that question.
Thanks.
Did you have a chance to watch a little bit of the Miami-Virginia Tech game last Saturday after you left the stadium?
Yeah, actually, I had 2 of my neighbors come up who are Virginia Tech alum, and we kind of watched a little bit of the game. I didn't watch too much of it, but I watched probably like 2/4 of it.
Impression?
Yeah, I mean, Miami looked really good because I know Virginia Tech's a really good team as well. And so definitely it shows that they can compete at a very high level and that we have to be on our A game.
Anything else?